So I'm not gonna lie, they cooked. They cooked with Verdansk, and they cooked really, really hard. But just like other games, when we say remember, don't pre-order, it's kind of the case with this one. We've seen Call of Duty updates that look absolutely amazing, and when they come out, everything's broken. There's hackers everywhere. We're going to address all of that throughout this video. But what I will say is everything that I didn't think they were going to add into Verdansk that I personally wanted, like story, intel, secrets, and a bunch more, is coming. And we're going to go over all of that right away in this video, but we're also going to go over everything that's new and changing with this new Verdansk and Warzone update as well. Also, when it is coming out, when you can get your hands on it, and how all of the free rewards and non-free rewards are going to work throughout this event, the Return to Verdansk event. There's a lot here. So let's start out with how you can play it, and then we'll get into my favorite part, the secrets, story, and everything like that.
Oh, breaking news. We're going to drop Season 3 of Black Ops 6 one day early on April 2nd. And if you don't own Black Ops 6, don't worry, because we'll have a free trial for you to jump into during that time.
So yeah, they are launching the Black Ops 6 portion of the Season 3 update, which includes multiplayer and zombies, a day early. So on April 2nd, you can play Season 3 on both of those, including the Battle Pass, unlock all of the new weapons, and get ready for the next day, which is April 3rd. Because on April 2nd, Warzone is going to be completely shut down, and when it goes live at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on the 3rd, that is when Warzone, and specifically Verdansk, is going to be available. So now that you know when you can play both Black Ops 6 and Warzone, let's get into the secret stuff, because this is the interesting part. So number one, when it is live on April 2nd, if you just click on the Warzone menu, which is going to take you to some sort of countdown to Verdansk, you're immediately going to be given the Kilo 141. Now I'm assuming because you have to click on it, it's going to play something, some sort of cutscene, some sort of countdown. I'm guessing there's going to be some sort of secret behind that. We also see some images that they show here that are clearly not from gameplay or in-game. It is setting up some sort of story, which I am there for. Now, speaking of story, they also showed this image in the blog post with this caption. Between March 2020 and December 2021, when Verdansk was an active map, investigations across the combat zone began to reveal a host of hidden items, communications, and evidence, much of it hidden well away from prying eyes. That has to be a reference to intel. Anyway, moving on. Upon your return to Verdansk, it's well worth your time checking out of the way places, searching for clues, and finding redacted, allowing you to redacted both old and new. I'm assuming that means uncover story, both old and new, which I am there for. That is exactly what I wanted to see. With a wealth of history over the last 5 years, redacted opening up. In other words, there's been story going on over the last 5 years on Verdansk, and it's opening up. Redacted, including tracking redacted than ever before. This is Verdansk's story. This is what happened back in the day with Warzone, and we'd have to uncover things by finding intel across the map, unearthing mysteries, I guess finding teddy bears, and seemingly there is going to be a lot. This is exactly what we used to do on this channel, and I am so excited for this. We're going to be doing this on stream day one. Make sure you're following, and as we find out the story, as we find out the intel, we'll be covering it on the channel. But oh, it doesn't end there, because on April 3rd, we get a new event with the launch of Verdansk called Return to Verdansk, and we are very used to the events within Black Ops 6 sucking, right? Well, turns out they actually did something good with this one. This is what the event is actually going to look like. First of all, the rewards are pretty good for just getting online and playing. You're going to get the Kilo 141 Domino, this operator, as well as the Milsim operator for Modern Warfare 2019 as well. And then as you go around to each POI throughout the map, there is going to be a hidden vault, like we saw in that previous image, hidden in each of the 12 regions across the map. You have to go in and find all 12 of them. There's also a special challenge, which is just open a bunch of vaults, and you have to get lucky and find that operator skin within the vault. And upon getting all 13 items, you then unlock the melee weapon, which is the Kali sticks. So the rest of the weapons that we're going to be getting with the season include the CR56 AMAX, a fan favorite from Modern Warfare 2019, which will be in the Battle Pass, the Kilo 141, which is the free reward for just getting on Warzone on day one, and the HDR, which again will be a part of the Battle Pass and a good sniper sniper rifle. Now, they did mention that they are going to be making changes to the default loadouts to include weapons like the Kilo 141 and the HDR, as those are going to be some of the best weapons on day one. So really, when you get that day early access in Black Ops 6, you really are going to want to make sure you level up those two weapons. The train station interior access, which opened up in Season 5 of Modern Warfare 2019 in August of 2020, is going to happen, as well as the train moving around the map is going to happen at mid-season as well. The other thing is redacted interior access, which refers to subterranean surfaces, which I'm just going to go out on a limb and assume is the bunkers are going to be accessible somehow at mid-season. We don't know if it'll be a new Easter egg, old Easter egg, or whatnot. So that pretty much covers a good portion of the secrets. Now let's dive into what has actually changed, what quality of life improvements are happening, and what you need to know for the launch of the game. First of all, what you are looking at here is a comparison of the old and new Verdansk, where you can clearly see the lighting, textures, and everything like that change within the game. They specifically stated that about 95% of the map is almost exactly the same, but one thing that I didn't recognize is some of the ascenders that you are seeing here on the coast of the map. You couldn't swim before. It appears as though now in the water you can swim, probably up to a certain extent, and you can get out of the water in areas like this with ascenders near the beach. One thing that they expressed is that the movement in multiplayer is no longer going to be the same omni movement that is in Warzone. Also, before I play the clip, just side note, see how that bunker light is green? That normally means you are able to access the bunkers. Just saying.
Now, Pete, there are some updates coming to movement in Season 3 of Warzone. What can players expect to feel?
Yeah, so when Verdansk returns, players are going to experience an updated movement system built just for Warzone. Omni movement isn't going away, right? So we do want to prioritize the Battle Royale experience, and we want to ensure that movement feels right in Warzone.
So in other words, it's not going to be the same as multiplayer, but it's not going to be quite the same as original Verdansk, but they're trying to make it better movement and still feel similar to that original Verdansk. They didn't really go into too much depth as to what that means. We're just going to have to wait and find out. Some other returning features include 150 players, the original voice announcer for Verdansk, which is absolutely awesome, the original cinematics for infill and exfil, and speaking of infill, you are able to shoot at enemies as you drop from the sky, a much requested feature. The loot crates are returning to the original color and look, as well as returning to their original sounds. The original floating loot is making a return, as well as the original armor satchel that allowed you to have 8 plates back in Season 3 of Modern Warfare 2019. Buy stations are returning to their previous glory of vertical maps, and I must say the buy stations do look really good visually. Now, one piece of equipment that's returning is the thermite grenade, and you may be wondering why. Well, that's because of the vehicles. Vehicles are returning to their former Verdansk glory, where they were unbelievably good. They do look better, but they are all the original vehicles from when the game launched, and let's just say they were very good when the game launched. Just like the original vehicles, the original contracts are also returning as well, which include the recon contract, where you go to an area, you have to capture that area, and a big thing shoots up into the air. And the other one is called a supply run, where you pick it up and then you have to take a vehicle, go to a buy station, and then you get something free like a teammate at that buy station. There are some new contracts coming out mid-season, but we'll save those for later. Oh yeah, and since the vehicles are better now, they're also removing this.
We're removing redeploy balloons in Battle Royale, so we can put the strategy back in traveling around the map and using vehicles or using movement.
So yeah, redeploy balloons are gone, but what is back is the old school capture the flag gulag in the showers. So once again, do not drop the soap. So some smaller new quality of life updates is when you inspect a weapon, say that you picked up off the ground, it will now show you the attachments that are on there so you can further replicate them if you enjoy them. There's also tactical map zoom and centering settings that you can use, as well as prioritized favorite loadout. So if you have a favorite loadout, you can put that one at the top when you go to your loot. Also, when you get killed, it will show you what happened to you before you got killed. So whether or not you got pinged or not, this actually should help with hackers, because if you didn't get pinged or anything like that and someone's staring at you through a wall, you'll more likely know what happened. Now, there's also going to be some new playlists that come out at launch. So first of all, we're going to have Verdansk Battle Royale. That is your traditional 150 players, 25-minute matches. Pretty straightforward on that one, the exact same as March of 2020. After this, there is also Battle Royale Casual, which is actually only going to have 28 players and 148 total people in the lobby. So who are the other 120? they are bots. So yes, there will be bot games, but only in those casual playlists. This one's very, very strange. There's also returning plunder quads. So if you like plunder, you can play quads. You know what that one is, 100 players. And there is Warzone Boot Camp, which is 44 total players in a game, 12 humans and 32 bots. So just like we have now. And then the only resurgence map coming back is Rebirth Island with 44 players coming once again. And I will say this image makes it look like there's updates to the map, but as far as I've seen, there's not. Also, ranked play, for those of you wondering, it is coming at Season 3 Reloaded, so at the mid-season, so about a month after the launch of the map. So I certainly did not include all of the new updates. If you would like to see a video where I think I counted 116 new things in Verdansk. So if you'd like to see a video where I go over everything, show me by hitting that like button. But I really just wanted to get this video out there to show you like the secrets, how there's going to be story, an actual good event in the game. I can admit I am starting to get hyped, which has me worried because I've been let down so many times by Call of Duty that if it happens one more time, I think the community is just going to be done. But from what I have seen, it is looking good. Now, there has been no mention of servers and no mention of Ricochet. However, in the blog post, it says that tomorrow we are getting the Season 3 blog post for multiplayer, zombies, and general content, Warzone excluded. And then on Friday, we are then getting the anti-cheat blog post. And then on April 2nd, the day that it comes out, we are getting the Battle Pass blog post. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, once we hear about Ricochet and hopefully something to do with the servers, maybe I can be let at a little ease. But let me just say, I'm still pretty worried about the whole anti-cheat and everything like that to do with everything else. But for now, it's sounding okay. But again, if you're wondering about multiplayer and zombies, we are getting the entire Season 3 roadmap, which will include multiplayer and zombies. But we did get a couple of teasers today. First of all, with the Shattered Veil, it's around the same size of a zombies map as Citadel de Mor. Also, Treyarch teased us that we are indeed going to be getting Firing Range as one of the new maps coming this season. Aside from that, we'll have to wait for tomorrow, so stay tuned. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel, have notifications on. Let me know if you're hyped for the story of Verdansk like I am. Speaking, if you like the story of Verdansk, I actually did a whole video on what the story of Verdansk is. It's on screen right now, as well as my second channel. My second channel is Ink TV. We are just about to hit 50,000 subscribers, and today we will watch the entire podcast together, went over the patch notes almost immediately. So if you want as fast as you can Call of Duty news or any other games news, check out that channel over there. But as always, thank you so much for watching. Until next time, peace.